In a small village in southeastern Nigeria, where the sun kissed the dusty roads and the air was thick with the scent of roasted corn and burning firewood, a girl named Amarachi was born. She was the first of 3 children, born into a family that struggled to make ends meet but was united in love. Her father, a hunter, worked tirelessly under the scorching sun and rain, but the land was not yielding enough to feed the family. Her mother, a petty trader, sold whatever she could, oranges one season, bananas the next, just to put food on the table. From a young age, Amarachi knew that life was a battle, and she had to fight if she wanted to change her fate. Amarachi's parents valued education, but they barely had enough money to send her and her siblings to school. While other children arrived with neat uniforms and shiny shoes, Amarachi often walked with overused slippers, her uniform patched in different places where her mother had stitched it back together. School was not just a place of learning for her. It was her escape, her dream, her hope. She excelled in all her subjects, but paying for her school fees was always a challenge. There were days when she had to miss school because they couldn't afford the fees, and nights when she read her borrowed textbooks under the dim glow of a kerosene lamp. Determined not to give up, she started doing small jobs to support her education. She helped traders in the market, carried firewood for elderly women, and even taught younger children for a small fee. While other girls in her village were being prepared for marriage at a young age, Amarachi was preparing for something else, a future beyond the poverty she was born into. Despite the hardships, Amarachi graduated from secondary school as the best student in her class. Her teachers, who had always admired her brilliance, encouraged her to apply for scholarships. But there was one problem. Amarachi had never used a computer before, and she had no access to the internet. Determined not to let this stop her, she walked several miles to the nearest cybercafe in a neighboring town. The first few times she had to watch others type before she could learn. She saved up money to buy time at the cafe, typing out scholarship applications with trembling fingers, hoping for a miracle. Months passed, and rejection after rejection came. Some scholarships were too competitive. Others required documents she couldn't afford. But she never gave up. Then, one evening, as she sat outside their small hut, she received an email on an old phone that had been gifted to her. The message read, "Congratulations! You have been awarded a fully funded scholarship to study in the United States." Amarachi screamed, dropping the phone. Her mother ran out in alarm, thinking something was wrong. But as Amarachi explained, tears streaming down her face, her family hugged her tightly. She had made them proud. Leaving Nigeria for the first time was both exciting and terrifying. As Amarachi stepped into the airplane, she felt a mix of emotions: joy, fear, hope. When she arrived in the United States, the cold air hit her like a slap. Everything was different: the food, the accents, the people. University was no less challenging. Though she had a scholarship, she still needed to work part-time for extra expenses. She took on several jobs: cleaning, babysitting, working in the university library. Anything to survive. Sometimes she slept only 3 hours a night, but she refused to let exhaustion break her spirit. Despite the struggles, Amarachi excelled in her studies. She majored in biomedical science, hoping to one day give back to the healthcare system in Nigeria. In her final year, Amarachi met Austin, a young doctor who volunteered at the same hospital where she interned. He was drawn to her intelligence and resilience, and over time, their friendship blossomed into love. After graduation, Austin proposed to Amarachi in the most unexpected way. One evening, as they walked along a quiet lake, he handed her a small box and said, "Amarachi, you have fought your whole life to survive. Let me be the one to fight for you now." Overwhelmed with emotions, she said yes. With her husband's support, Amarachi pursued her dream, not just for herself, but for the young girls back home who still struggled as she once did. She established a foundation, a non-profit organization that provided scholarships and mentorship programs for underprivileged girls and boys in Nigeria. Through her foundation, many young people who once had no hope were now getting an education. Her story became an inspiration, proving that no matter where you come from, you can rewrite your destiny. From a barefoot girl in a small village to an educated woman, a wife, and a philanthropist, AMARACHI's journey was a testament to resilience, faith, and the power of never giving up. And as she stood in front of a large crowd years later, receiving an award for her impact on education in Africa, she smiled, remembering the little girl who once sat under a kerosene lamp, dreaming of a better future. She had made it,